All right, good morning. How we doing? Happy Tuesday. We are live. Let's close this. We gotta close a lot of tabs right now. Make sure we're dialed in. Get rid of that. Get my news feed up. Get that get the financial juice locked in. All right. So NQ a little gap higher this morning into the 26K key pivot. This is the level we've been watching for feels like forever now. Key area of resistance pretty clear on the 4 hour, but even more so on the daily. Been talking about this the past few weeks in the weekly candle, weekly newsletter, just big area of resistance. Yeah, right there. One, two, three, four, and five today. Five tests of this area. What's it gonna be? Are we gonna see the break today or a rejection and maybe a break with FOMC tomorrow? My crystal ball is broken, so I have no idea, but I will be watching how price responds to this zone. One thing I did note in a recent weekly candle and a recent newsletter, the write up talking about in the traders think tank as well, is the fact that price has definitely been tightening against this area of resistance, right? This kind of it's like I'd consider that like almost like a failed breakdown, like a failed change of character, quickly recovers, kind of a little bit of a fake out there to maybe trigger this thing up into all-time highs, just as an idea, you know, kind of something I was thinking about last week. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty this thing's at all-time highs. The rest of the market's at all-time highs. So NQ is kind of the laggard. We may see it finally catch up. Pratik, think we have some 10 a.m. news today? Yep, that is correct. Good morning, everyone. So we have 2 minutes till the open. I'm looking at 26K by 26,043. Basically, your overnight high right through there, this red zone. And if price can clear it, I'll definitely be looking for some longs above that area after an extension higher, or I'll be looking at prior day high, this area right through here, potential longs. If that fails to hold, like if buyers don't step in right there, we'll come down into this area, the gap fill, overnight low, last week's high, potential spring, potential reversal right through there. So that's the focus, kind of three primary ideas, position ideas that I'm looking at. I did get some unfortunate news last night, or actually early this morning. It's what I would call the trade copier tax. So yesterday morning, my first trade of the day, not all of the executions crossed over to my TPT accounts. And so this is actually the main reason I originally left TradeSyncer, because this was a regular issue. But what happened was I was in long on the main and then short on the followers. And TPT has that pretty explicitly in their rules that you cannot do that. And so they closed all of those accounts. So that was unfortunate. That's a trade copier tax right there. Trade copying has some risks involved, definitely. Thankfully, none of my other prop farm, if you will, was impacted. At least that I know of. I mean, maybe I'll receive a notice later, but all the accounts are still good. So here's the open Nasdaq opening at 25,982. And let's get our profile set up. There we go. There it is. Lower right off the open, so potential 26K rejection here. Oh, that coffee's not very good this morning. Limit orders, VVU 6827. Limit orders only. No market orders. And again, that's why I left trade sinker, because it wasn't fast enough for my execution style. I'm not gonna change up my execution style just to use a trade copier. That's a little silly. So over the past few months, I've been using Trade Copia without issue. This is the first time I've experienced an issue. So I reached out to them and they said they're going to be shipping some protections for that exact scenario next week, which is encouraging to hear. But you just got to keep a close eye on things. I mean, if you have sometimes my first exit is very, very shortly after the entry. And so that can be problematic if the entry does not get filled. It's not going to be a problem for a lot of traders' execution style. But that's what I ran into. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's not the end of the world, you know. I'm just sharing an update here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But one issue out of like 3 months of usage, no big deal. You gotta kind of expect some of that stuff. All right, there's a little retest into 26K. Little retest and reject. Decent volume there off the open. And back into the lows. Staying patient. No man's land for me personally. See our proximity to prior day high. Okay. 936. FOMC tomorrow as well. So Sometimes these days ahead of FOMC can be a little bit slower, a little bit more of a snooze fest. So it's something we got to think about. Keep an eye on those volumes. Yesterday, super slow. Ended up just taking the small red day yesterday. I mean, look at this action from yesterday. Not a lot there. Just kind of just drift, low volume. Meh. I'm sure some traders can clean up in that, but for me, that's don't even want to mess with it. There's an NQ approaching this zone here, treating us like a zone, basically 935, 940 by about 915, based on our higher time frames. I saw a value area high from yesterday's session right there in the lower portion of that zone. So let's see if there's any interest through here. Not in any rush this morning, especially with that volume like that. We also have the 10 a.m. news. This is one of those scenarios where the first reference point, it's very close to a key area of resistance. So you just got to be cautious with that. D-Wall says short cover. Man, D-Wall. D-Wall's ready. Nice work, D-Wall. You did the I would guess the retest and reject of 26K would be my guess there for Mr. D-Wall. Yeah, it's pretty much no interest there. Prior day high. Look at the 30-minute. Two for two on shorts already for D-Wall. Wow. This man is active. Mike on a bike says easy short. Yeah, that key area of resistance. Pretty nice through there. So still right here in this zone. And we'll see how Friday high is going to be treated. PDH. Volume's just not there. Right here, based on volume, what I'd want to see for a long Would be a reclaim and then retest it. Give me that. We'll call that the second entry. Don't want to grab the reversal right here. It could work, but just gonna pass on that one. Dom short covered. Nice. Well done. Okay, a little look above prior day high. See if an entry comes. Gabe, just saw your execution in the think tank. Nice work. These guys are already hitting daily goal. I'm still cash. Still cash over here. Regular trading hours, volume point of control right there. Nice bounce. Nice bounce, no position. Good to see the zone respond that way. ES just marked a session high. And Q pretty much retested that opening print, value area high for the regular sesh. That'd be your target if you ended up taking the reversal. Good initial target. And we come back into that zone. D-Wall, did you hit it again, man? Wild. Wild, wild. Volume's still just pretty light. We do have that 10 a.m. print. Couple prints at 10 a.m. actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see if a little higher low builds out right here. No FOMO, never that, never that. How'd that 15-minute close? Man, this morning's kind of flying, if I do say so myself. All right, decent little push there coming into a little intraday structure point. I like to see a break of 985. That was that second entry, as discussed. Obviously, the initial reversal off the prior day high looks much better, but I'd ruled that trade out. Wanted something a little less aggressive. And if this can take the 985 area, should see a little retest into the highs, would be my expectation. Not bad. Gotta break that 985. Make it trailed. We'll take the 30. Take the 30 points. ES is at such an eyes, no volume in ES, no volume in NQ. That 85 is just a wall, 985. And 10 till 10. 10 till 10 a.m. That's better. We lift. So now I'd want to follow through above 985, not a look above and then rejection. Gabe, 30-minute looking a little promising. Yeah, big, potentially a big hammer in the making. There we go. We lifted a little more here. Gonna go right into just shy of 78. And now I'd want to see the session high trade. I mean, this is 26K, so not a bad idea to tighten it, maybe a little more. Let's see this next minute. It's gonna be a big psychological level. The 000 can always count on for a psychological level. ES, a little bit of volumes coming into ES. It's encouraging. So there's a little microstructure that I can use. Go 88 on the trail. And let's see if the session high gets taken out here. 14 ish, give or take. Let's see. Oh, 12.5. 12.5. Okay. It's a little off. Yesterday's small red day already recovered. See, that's why you can't you take a red day, you take some red trades, you cannot crash out. You cannot let your emotions get a hold of you. Understand there will be a better session in the future. See if I get trailed right now. That was basically a target for this idea, session highs. So no new high of day has been made yet. Almost. ES is just on its own. There you go, new high. I'll lift just beneath 26K. Yep, yep, yep. Very nice. And they could have it just ahead of the overnight high, 43. ES just tested overnight high. We have 5 minutes till data. Okay, I'm gonna tighten here. This gets into my main target of overnight high. So on the 15-second, there's a little microstructure that kind of builds out the current 1 minute candle low. So we'd want to see that hold. This price gets into overnight high here. There we go. I'm going to go just beneath overnight high now. I do not want to see this be an up thrust. If it ends up being tight, it ends up being tight. Oh well. But I would either want continued momentum or I'm done with it. So we're trailing 34.5. Holding above so far. Good sign, good sign. That next leg. There we go. It's 26,060. That's the high right now. At least on the micros. Let's see what NQ is 55. Okay. Really nice moves for pre FOMC. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's kind of uncommon, huh? All right. NQ just made a new high by 1 tick. The micros did not. I'll bring this a little higher. Momentum slowing a little bit. We have 10 a.m. reversal time coming up with data. Plus, I have to contend with intraday trailing drawdown on some of these accounts. So, Mario raised to 38. Yeah, right there with you. Steven Summers. Any of the strategies we use can be done on any platform. It's based on price action, not specific to any one broker or platform, anything like that. Just had a big volume uptick in NASDAQ. Need that next leg. Like to see price leave this overnight high. For context, we're just right here at the overnight high, just above overnight high. So price is above some of these more recent highs here from January 13th. This is one micro up $200. One little micro just putting in work, the little micro that could. And of course, we're copied around 20 accounts. I lost 4 yesterday. I talked about that at the start of the stream. And on some of these, we have multipliers based on account size. So it's a solid morning. Micro with a dream. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. NASDAQ made a fresh high. The micros did not. Here comes data. All right, you know what? I was going to say we're holding it. There you have it. We hold. Let's see. Let's just see what happens here. Hopefully I don't eat any slippage on the trail. Oh, there it is. There we go. Not bad. What is that? 100 points? 957. Not quite 100. Darn. About 80 points there. We'll take it. There it is. Okay. That's solid. So let's recap really quick. Just a quick recap. For those that don't know, we talked about potential longs in this zone, right? Prior day high, key pivot highlighted in blue. You can see it there. That was written up in the pre-market prep notes as well, wanting to see potential longs in this area. Now, what I said was I didn't want to do this long right here. Sometimes that's an entry I'll take right there, but that's a little too aggressive for me this morning based on the volume. If we had big RVol right there, 3x RVol, I'll try it. I'll try it. It's worth it for me. Considering we did not, I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me wait for the second entry, which is going to be higher low. That's exactly what I said this morning. You get the higher low, we take the long, and we're just going to ride. I'm going to scale out into local structure just per my plan. And then we just let the runners do the work. So we scale out into this structure. And we'll let the runners put in some work. So that's the idea. That's the recap. Now, post 10 a.m. price is above overnight high, potentially showing a break of like what could be considered a multi-month area of resistance. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. Let's see. And that was after a small red day yesterday. So it really just goes to show like the red days, the days that the market gives you subpar action, your job is to not do too much damage, to recognize that the conditions are not great and just try and do less. Force yourself to do less. Walk away from the keyboard because better sessions will come. And that's when you can really hammer. It's the name of the game right there. And when the trade works like it did today, and it works beautifully, the market makes it pretty easy for you if you're in a good solid trade. But when you're just fighting the action, those are like the painful days, right? So making money is the easy part. Holding on to it is what is tough. You tend to give back a lot in those crappy conditions, and that's what we want to try and avoid, right? So we'll see what happens here. I'm not in a huge rush, to be honest with you. After that, it is still pre FOMC. If we can get a nice extension above this area and then a retest into overnight high, I would consider it, depending on how that looked. Because my thought process right now is that price is triggering a large breakout of this 26K resistance, and may want to visit, 200, maybe higher. that thought would be negated beneath 26K. But that's where my thought is at right now. Scott, I actually had a great day yesterday and am red today. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier too. Like I'm sure some traders cleaned up yesterday. It's not about, I'm not going to say this sort of day is superior or anything like that. Like recognize what your market is specifically. Like where do you tend to do well? Recognize what those days look like and focus on those areas. That's kind of the point of what I was saying. So NQ pulling in a little, okay, beneath overnight high. Will this be a failure at the pivot? I know D-Wall is ready. We got volume coming in on ES as well. ES actually put in a pretty nice up thrust of the overnight high. He said trimmed already. Oh man, you're an animal. Mario waiting on a lower high. D-Wall, what can I do? We're still in resistance zone. True. True, true. Let's see our intraday fib. Okay, shallow fib so far. Man, just right back there into regular trading hours point of control. Big time area for me to stay patient personally. Nice. Matthew Kelly. I just saw your post in the think tank. Nice work. Take that payout. It's a good post for a win wall right there. So NQ pullback just pretty much absorbed back into the highs. Let's see how the highs are going to be treated. Do we see a new high of day? Yes, we do. New high of day. Okay. 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 ES did not make a new high. Not yet, anyway. Little uptick in volume right now. So I'll be watching through here. D Wall, you're out of here? All right, man. Nice work this morning. How's everyone's morning so far? About 40 minutes into this day. Still early. Still very early. Thankfully, no trade copier issues on my end. Happy about that. Mario 2 for 2. Nice work. Josh Cash, Des Cash. Matt 1 for 1. Muggsy locked in. Decent green trades on both sides. Nice. Benny 1 for 1. 100 yoins. Let's go. 3 for 3. 1 for 2. 1 for 1. Solid. All right. Solid. So current session, volume point of control, overnight high, kind of the main little focus area I'm looking at. Back to 30. 15-minute may close as a doji. Has 1 minute left on it. Thirty seconds left on that 15. That can be a doji. Little indecision bar. ES did not make a new high. Doji's an indecision bar. Doji. Hmm. Not a true doji, but kind of has that shape. All right, we'll see. Overnight high remains to watch. Volume point of control right through here. Basically 26,050. Little area right there. Notice volume's just below average. What's it look like? It looks like a plus sign. Doji. I'm debating on just taking the one and done. We'll see. Take the 80 points. The 80 yoints. All right, Dom, take care, man. Nice work today. Critique is that kind of day, but watching the overnight high area, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, we're still the day before FOMC, right? So can't forget that. We do have big divergence with well, I mean, these things are not coupled anyway. But YM's down 1%, just getting puked on. Let's see RTY just for fun. Oh, that's not what I wanted. RTY is just sideways. A little bounce versus weekly open. Okay. Yeah, YM's down. Probably on Boeing earnings, I would guess. Boeing. And then I think UNH got annihilated. Yeah, UNH got killed. Look at that UNH chart. UNH crushed. Let's see. GC, fun to look at. Gold, 5,100. And of course, silver. Silver's all the talk. And silver prior day low right there. Silver put in a big exhaustion bar yesterday. Could be a local high. We'll see. SLV prior day low right there. Okay. Venomology, completely new. What's a good way to understand all this stuff? Immerse yourself in it. Cannonball right in. Des got stopped out on RTY short. It's all good. On to the next. Nothing wrong with a stop. Phil, golf course is a wild one. Man, I haven't played in a few days. We haven't seen it in a few days. Let's rip it. Let's just go ahead and let's see. NQ volume to a low average. We got a few minutes. There's a duck, and if you hit it, it resets you? What? All right. Now you have my interest. How do you know when to enter into a trade? I mean, man, if you're brand new, it's like anything I say is really not going to help you, but it's all pattern recognition. Pattern recognition. That's what it comes down to. That's what it boils down to. If you could put it in one sentence, looking for repeat patterns within price action. Let's see. Let's see. So now's technically made a new high. No volume though. All right, do we just go for it right here? We just gonna we gonna send it? What was everyone's score? Phil, what was your score, man? Can't bring up golf without sharing your score. So let's hear it. 60. All right. And you're in the top 90%. Oh man, you just set me up for like a half-hour game here. Dave, you got 14? Okay, rough start. Nas pulling in a little bit. I'm keeping an eye on overnight high, like I said. Okay, terrible start. All right, hang on. We got to focus. He said, "Shut my eyes," and went for the went for the long ball. Oh, I love it. That's great. That's funny. Yeah, sometimes you just got to send it. That's like driving in this Dallas ice these past 2 days. Sometimes you just got to shoot the gap, you know? Jesus, take the wheel. All right, so now it's kind of pulling in a little bit here. Is this going to be kind of a late day, late morning structure, or we're going to see a bigger kind of reversal in this key area of resistance? TBD. TBD. A little there's a doji for you. Mike on a bike, if you're still there, a little 1 minute doji. A little indecision bar. So volume point of control up here. Let's get the extended hours as well. Even 30-minute forming into a doji. Let me see. Yeah, well, I still got 5 minutes on this, but yeah. ES did never made that new high. And here's overnight high. Here it is. Yeah, it doesn't look like any interest through there. Slight uptick in volume, but still average. When you see a doji form, what do you look for after? I mean, it depends if I'm looking for an opportunity or not. Sometimes it can signal the end of a move, but it really, with any candlestick analysis, it really depends on where the candle is located. So I'm more interested in trade location, price location, and then I'll look at candlesticks. Candlesticks without good location or important are going to be just meaningless. There's not going to be a lot of info or a lot of important info anyway, if you ask me. Yeah, there we go. Don't Pratik says don't just look for candle types, look for overall context, structure, and location. Spot on. I would agree with that entirely. And then FOMC is tomorrow. So tomorrow morning will probably be, I mean, typically FOMC day, it's pretty sleepy, right? Not a lot of action happening, not a lot of activity. And it's not always the case, but typically. Des got a 39, James got a 38. Almost had it in 22, then went on tilt mode. Oh man, yeah, the golf brings out the tilt. I noticed that. I'll jump back in right here. I just want to see this reaction near overnight high. Basically 26,040, 26,050 area. And yeah, it looks like that 30 will just close as kind of an indecision bar. Dave's is the score to beat though, 14. Man, Dave. All right, let's see this next. Oh, I hate when I switch back and it doesn't refresh. Hang on. Man, I can't multitask, so no golf for me. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, there we are. There we are. All right. Yeah, I don't even. Oh man. Oh man. All right. Hang on. Hang on. Look at NQ right here. What's mm, volume's killing this thing? Because I normally would like this with a little look above the 50s right there. See if a little more volume comes in. All right, there's a little uptick in volume. 30-minute basically closed as a doji, more or less. Yeah, it's tough. I don't think I love that one enough to give it a shot there. So we're back. So if you hit the duck, it resets you. Oh, so NQ is actually giving the push there. Yeah, that's trading for you. That's one of the things about trading. Let's look at this really quick where, you rule out a trade for one reason or another. It doesn't quite match your criteria, doesn't quite match what you want to see, and then price ends up doing what you thought it could do. That's gonna that's gonna get an emotional response out of a lot of individuals. They're gonna end up chasing higher. They're gonna end up giving into FOMO, right? That can be a frustrating situation. You see this little setup right here. You say, I'm going to pass on it because of volume. And then it ends up moving. So you think, all right, I'll chase it higher. And then it rolls over on you. Right. I'm sure that's relatable for a lot of people because I've definitely been there. If you make a decision like that to pass on a trade, you gotta sit with that decision. It is what it is. Just gotta take it. Can't let that bring an emotional rise because that's gonna set you back much, much longer. This level might be unbeatable. Scott 25. I think I'm going to be closer to Phil's score at 60 than any of you guys at 25. Mike, I'm very new to trading. My biggest flaw is not respecting the drawdown. It makes me go on tilt every time. What's the best way to fix this? What do you mean? What do you mean by not respecting the drawdown? Like you can't take a loss or what? If you can expand on that, that'd be helpful. Gummy Bear, what's this game called? It's kinda hardgolf.com. You can see it in the top right here. All right, the duck resets you. Oof. Yes, it does. Oh, okay. I think I just got so lucky right there. Okay. NASDAQ fresh high. So the idea panned out. The discussed idea panned out. And ES is coming into highs as well. That's trading for you. Albert's in there. Mike, so I'll have a really good few days, and then one day I'll be negative 300 and I'll just go on tilt and blow the accounts. Yeah, so basically, that's a desire to alleviate the pain that comes with a red day. Red day is painful, feels like a setback. And so to alleviate that, our subconscious knows that if we, you know, place some trades, we may be green on the day and we won't feel that crappy feeling anymore. And so it really comes down to being comfortable with a red day, as painful as it is, and just sitting with some of those red days, recognizing that it's not the end of the world. Pratik, it was a passable opportunity considering a good morning we had. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Albert 4x4. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Let's go. I can't believe I got that. 25. We did it. Oh, it's not even. Oh man, that's unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. I was on the wrong screen. Damn it. Oh, we did it. We beat it. We beat it. 25 minus 1 is par 26. Take it. So NASDAQ into fresh highs. I'm going to call it right here. That was the second idea that I wanted. I did not love the action through there enough to actually execute the opportunity. Basically, what I would want to see through here is just at least average, above average volume. This is all below average, and then maybe like a hammer, something that is just a little bit more compelling. This sort of action just wasn't doing it for me. Then anytime, so because I was hesitant, anytime I feel myself being hesitant, I know I should just pass on the opportunity. Like if it's not, immediate, yes, that's my edge. Yes, I need to be in, then just pass on the opportunity. So that's kind of a personal cue that I have for myself. If I have any sort of hesitation and then I, have the self-awareness to recognize that I'm hesitating, it's like, all right, just pass. Just pass. Just pass. Because down the line, let's say that trade ends up being a loss. Well, during my end of day review, I'm going to be like, well, I was hesitating on the trade. Why didn't I just lean into that a little bit more and just avoid it? Mike, good tip. Yeah, that's one that's definitely helped me personally. All right, folks. I'm going to call it right there. Good sesh. One and done this morning. Nailed 80 points. I'm happy with it. Recovered all of yesterday's small red day and then some. So again, just go kind of what we were talking about with Mike on a bike there. The red day, just got to sit with it. It's okay. Can't force anything. We'll be live tomorrow morning. As always. In the meantime, we'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank. Hope you guys had a good morning. Thanks for your time today. And we will see you tomorrow. Take care.